Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Very excited to present my new database, which I would call Enhanced Fabiano Caruana Idea against King Indian. Let me explain what do I mean by this. So before we are moving to the material, guys, please don't forget to subscribe, hit notification bell, like the video. Every comment appreciated. I try to react to everything. You can come up with new ideas, new suggestion, and it's, as you know guys, it's always helps with YouTube algorithms. Okay, let's move forward. So we are talking today about white system against King Indian, the opening which recently I would say have some kind of like renaissance in some way, and I think one of the reasons that against classical system black is not forced to go into bayonet, which in some way problematic. So there are new ideas, well, mainly like ed4, some people play bishop g4 and so on. So I think overall it's just as good opening as other mainstream openings. I think it stands pretty well. King Indian. Those who are interested to play King Indian for black, I would highly recommend Cheporinov material on modern chess, high level material. Some of my students got this and they're having a great time. So, well, I think it's very important to find, to have a good system. This one can serve you well, and it also can be obviously a very good surprise weapon. So, what we are talking about now. As you know, lately it's been very popular idea for white to start with move h3. I remember during my childhood I used to play bishop g5 with great success, but black is doing pretty well here for those who knows the theory. Then knight f3, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's called Makogonov system. This has been trendy for many years, always considered to be dangerous system for black. And lately it's switched to move bishop e3, white switched to move bishop e3. It's probably the most popular system nowadays against King Indian. All the theory develops here, so it's still somewhat fresh. I mean, very interesting, but well, requires a lot of knowledge. Black has a lot of ideas and so on. Now, what I noticed that actually there have been 3 games where Fabiano got this position with move knight e2. So he played here knight e2. I mean, it's kind of like reminded me that I already have material on modern chess where my recommendation was knight e2, castle, and knight g3. So instead of knight g3, we will play h3. Now, first of all, I would like to say that I want to start with knight e2 because I noticed that after h3, if black plays e5, it will be a little bit problematic for us to get the setup that I want, and for instance d5, knight a6. So it's a matter of taste, but for our system, I think it's more feasible to start with move knight e2. Now, there are some deviations here, but I don't think they're that important, although I have a coverage of 3 different moves here, e5, knight d7, h5, but of course, 95% of the games you're gonna face castle, and then we play h3. So, what's the main idea, and why I say it will be enhanced Caruana system? So, the main idea is, after the most natural move, e5, d5, and let's say a5, we play g4, knight a6, knight g3. And for example, the next move comes knight c5, bishop e3. And guys, this is optimal setup, the one that we don't get in any other h3 systems. Meaning, let's say you play h3, knight f3, so knight on f3. Knight on g3 is much better. Sometimes we end up with a bishop on g5. Bishop on e3 is better. So that's optimal setup. And you know, my opinion, that quite possible that e5 is a dubious move for black. Well, it sounds very strange, but I think this position is extremely promising for white. those who have some experience in h3 systems and they eventually play g4 in this type of pawn structure, they will get this point, but it's very surprising. So obviously I have very good coverage of this line. Now, a couple of important points I wanted to make here. First of all, it's very nice for white that knight h5 thematic sacrifice, pawn sacrifice, king's India doesn't work, because we can switch to queenside castle here, and eventually it's not enough compensation. The most interesting that this has been played by Judith Polgar with white, like pretty old game actually, and yeah, so that's not dangerous for us, so that's important. Now, also another important idea maybe for the guys who for the first time see this position, what happens with f5 break. F5 break, it's actually backfires against black. So queen h4 is the most interesting try, and I have this interesting idea to kick the queen away. So now, after f5, we take twice on f5, and then we play knight g3, and then we're gonna play bishop d3, and we're gonna castle queenside, and basically suddenly we'll launch a very dangerous play on the king side and g file and so on. So that's a bad line for black. Now, so that's maybe the biggest point of this system. Now, why I'm saying that's it enhanced Caruana system, because there were two games where Fabiano opponents played a6, and another move was c6. So there were two games, and in both cases he played knight g3 in this position, and my idea to play g4. Knight g3, e5, I'm not too excited about this knight g3, h3 setup. I want to have pawn on g4, so that's why I have g4. And it seems to me, again, very promising, and in general, starting from this position, I'm gonna cover 7 moves. So there will be e5, c5, obviously the main, but you know, in King's Indians, there are all those tricky moves, a6, c6, knight c6, knight g7, everything will be covered in detailed file. Now, that's probably the best idea, but not everyone is quite happy with this c5 move, and I play d5, so we're gonna get Benoni, so there will be other moves as well. b5, Benko style is very interesting, it's reasonable for black, I still like white position. e6, knight g3, e g5, cd5, so this strange Benoni. Now, I think it's very fighting, very interesting. There is a recommendation for good line for black, which requires a very precise play, but overall, I'm very surprised, pleasantly surprised how this system, well, it's in fact, it's a principle, like in general, it's a new concept. This system, I think, like stands very interesting, and what is for sure, like if you start playing this, that would be a big surprise for everyone. I checked the Ciparino work on this, on King's India, and he's not even covering this, and it's understandable because it's far from being top 3 choices. So, like, obviously, as a chess author, you cannot cover everything. It will be endless work. So, very excited to find original idea. As you know, on my site, I prefer always to find something original, not something that has been already published on big platforms. So this is one of those ideas that I'm quite proud to discover. Also, Fabiano gave me the hint, so now it's a little bit, I think, kind of like a little bit enhancement, and hopefully you can play with this line with success. Guys, those who watch, who already regular customers, regular watchers, you know the drill, but it will be new for new subscribers. So if you will be interested to purchase a very detailed, high-level PGN file, which is suitable for, I would say, I don't know, 1600 all the way to the title players, please head over to my webpage, ask-avrukh.com, and there you can find a very detailed PGN file and you can purchase this. Or I think if you are not interested to buy, so you have a good idea, now you have all the tools, you have directions, and now you can develop your own file, do your own research, and it will be great. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon on my YouTube channel.